Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're here to the day that we thought would never come. We thought it would be more of a retirement that we would be talking about with this player. But Eric DaCosta and the Ravens have made it official as of right now that we are officially cutting Justin Tucker from the roster, ending his 13-year run with the team where he became the most accurate kicker in NFL history. And of course, he holds the record for longest field goal ever made in a game at 66 yards. I mean, you look at the story from him being undrafted. I remember specifically going to one of those free practices in 2012 during his rookie season when Cundiff was still on the team and Tucker came in as an undrafted rookie. And I think Tucker had kicked like a 70-yard field goal right down the pipe, and Billy Cundiff, was going to do a 71-yarder, and he missed it short. And I remember, turning to my mom and dad and saying, like, this Justin Tucker guy, he could be our kicker at the beginning of the season. And lo and behold, he was, and he held down that fort the whole time. I mean, I don't think he ever missed a game because of any injury or anything. We always seem to have preseason kicking bodies, so that way it took toll off of him. But yeah, I guess all good things must come to an end at some point. This is what the Ravens had to say about it before I get into everything. This is from Eric DaCosta. He says, sometimes football decisions are incredibly difficult, and this is one of those instances. Considering our current roster, we have made the tough decision to release Justin Tucker. Justin created many significant and unforgettable moments in Ravens history. His reliability, focused drive, resilience, and extraordinary talent made him one of the league's best kickers for over a decade. We are grateful for Justin's many contributions while playing for the Ravens. We sincerely wish him and his family the very best in this next chapter of their lives. And again, that is from Eric DaCosta, the Ravens GM and executive VP. So making it official just a day after John Harbaugh had that press conference where he was talking and said he was basically, I guess, giving us a hint that it was going to happen, because he said, if the decision is made, or when that decision does come, it'll be strictly a football decision, which is what the Ravens are making it out here, because, there's the whole allegation thing that's going on against him. And the Ravens have said, that they heard from the NFL in the beginning, but they haven't really heard anything lately that, anything's changed in that regard or whatever. So I feel like this has to do a lot with that, though, because of, the reputation. The team wants to keep that in wraps because, in the end, they're still a team and they can't, have that lingering over them, that distraction. Plus, I mean, with the year Tucker had last year, it was the first year I was scared for him to come out and make kicks. I mean, he missed 8 field goals, 2 extra points. That's 10 kicks. That's more kicks than he missed in any season. I think his worst season before that, I remember in 2015, he missed 7 field goals, but that's because like 6 of the 7 that he missed were from 50 plus. And, you can't rely on him to make field goals that long all the time. And, it's in the end, it's football. It's a business, and this stuff happens. And I've been watching highlights of Tyler Loop, and he looks really good. I mean, he's got accuracy. He's got a leg, sort of similar to Tucker. I don't want to compare him to Tucker because Justin Tucker's Justin Tucker. Again, he worked to become the most accurate kicker in NFL history. But at least with Tyler Loop, and I know too, a lot of time people be like, well, not all kickers come out of college and are successful. But at the same point in time, our track record with young kickers outside of Stephen Hauschka have been pretty good. I mean, we've been blessed with, Matt Stover, in the beginning of our franchise. And then even after, Stephen Hauschka didn't work out, Billy Cundiff had a Pro Bowl season in 2010. And then we get Justin Tucker. It's like, we haven't been one of those teams that's had to deal with, struggling kickers other than, maybe a couple times here and there. And there's only been one time in any season where we've used more than one kicker. That was the year in 09 when we cut Stephen Hauschka, brought in Billy Cundiff, and he held down the fort for a year and a half. But in 2011, obviously, Cundiff, he missed the 9 field goals and that key one in the AFC Championship game. And that's when Tucker came in and took the job right from him and didn't give it to anybody on the Ravens for 13 years. But yeah, it is sad. And like I said, I know what the allegations going on, kind of sitting here and being like, oh, Justin Tucker will miss you, this, that, and the other might seem a little, off. But at the same point in time, I'm with the Ravens. The NFL's looking into it, and I'm not going to sit here and make, a full on judgment yet. It's kind of like Deshaun Watson, that situation, because it's the same thing. It's massage therapist, and it is a decent amount of massage therapy therapists that have come out against Tucker. But at the same point in time, I don't want to sit here and label the guy unless there's something that absolutely comes out. Even though, like I said, when it's up to I think 14 or 16 different massage therapists, it's a little hard to defend. But all in all, too, you can't really take away what he did for this team, giving us stability at the kicker position, which is more important than I think people realize. Because if you have those kickers that can't make those game winners, as we saw last year, it could affect you in a couple games. I mean, the Eagles game, if he makes one of the two field goals that he missed, or I think he missed one field goal and one extra point, but if he makes at least that field goal, we win that game. The Steelers game that we lost, when we lost 18-16 to the Steelers, he missed two field goals. He makes one of those two field goals, we win that game, and that 12-5 record goes from that to maybe 14-3. Heck, in the game we lost to Cleveland, we lost 29-24. If he doesn't miss that kick early in the game, we're only down by 2 late in the game, meaning we're already in field goal range by the time, we're getting down to the final 10 seconds. We don't have to throw to the end zone. We could have just sent Justin Tucker out there to kick it. Who knows? We could have went from 0-2 to 15-2 and just won the rest of our games for the year. But, Justin Tucker definitely had a lot to do with, a couple of those losses last year, because, he missed one in the first, I think, 2 weeks. And I said, sometimes it just happens. You start off slow. But when it became a more consistent thing, I said, something's wrong. I don't know what it is. I don't know if he's in his own head. I don't know what's going on. I don't even know if he knew, what was going to go on with the allegations ahead of time. I don't know that. But all I know is last year, he did not look like Justin Tucker. He looked more like, Billy Cundiff toward the end of his time with the Ravens. And that's not necessarily something you want. I mean, sure, the last 4 games of the year in the regular season and even in the postseason, he was perfect. But, I don't know. I feel like even without the allegations, there was probably talk before all that came out about, what do we do with Justin Tucker? Because last year could be a sign of, bad things to come when it comes to him kicking. And we're not one of those teams that accepts that, especially John Harbaugh. He's just a special teams coach before he became our head coach. So someone who's special teams minded, he's not going to want to, be that guy's like, can we rely on this kicker to do this? When it's just like, and plus, again, I think Tyler Loop had the best leg in the draft, or at least of any kicker entering the draft, because I think there was only 2 kickers drafted. Borgalis, I think is how you say his name, from Miami. The Patriots took him a couple picks before, and I think that's why we jumped on Tyler Loop. So, yeah, it's a business decision. I understand why the Ravens did it. I kind of saw it coming, so I'm not fully surprised. I think I'm surprised with how early it came. I thought maybe we'd wait till, OTAs or something just to kind of see how Justin was kicking and whatever. But, I guess that's just the way things work. Because if I watched a video of Tyler Loop kicking at rookie camp yesterday, and there was another kicker next to him with the number 3. I haven't been able to figure out who that was. So apparently the Ravens have another kicker that they brought in, probably undrafted rookie free agent, or maybe it's some sort of veteran. I don't know. I haven't seen anything about it yet, but there was definitely 2 kickers kicking in that video at rookie minicamp. And obviously with it being rookie minicamp, it's not Justin Tucker. So I don't know. But that's basically why I came here live, because I needed to talk about it, because the news just broke when I thought we were going to wait a little bit longer to kind of see how things work out. But oh, it's official. It looks like Tyler Loop is going to be our kicker next season. As for the season after that, and it all depends on how Tyler Loop does this year. But I have faith in the guy. Obviously, if he has some early season struggles, I don't want to be quick to pull the plug on him, because, he's a rookie and sometimes he's got to learn through the struggles to become great. But at the same point in time, if you go and watch highlight tape of this guy, he knows how to aim the ball, he kicks it very hard, and he's accurate. So that's mainly what I focus more on is he accurate? Like, what can he do? I mean, obviously he's got to have a leg to kick those long field goals, but I think he kicked around 85% of his field goals were made in college. So that's pretty good. Obviously, it's not like 90% like Justin Tucker, but again, how many kickers, even in the NFL, are at that mark? So, as long as he can stay between 85 and 87%, or heck, maybe he does do better than that too, then so be it. But this is just the risk we have to take and move on from here. And as people say too, kicker is one of those positions when something like this happens, teams are more quicker to move on than say if it was like a quarterback, because, quarterbacks are hard to come by. At least franchise quarterbacks are hard to come by. That's why Watson got a second chance with the Browns. But with a position like kicker, you can just get somebody off the street to be a kicker. Heck, you can go to like Australia, find a rugby player and be like, hey, you want to, try this kicking thing in the NFL? And you can just try them out. It's one of those positions where it's still hard, but if you can kick a football really well, NFL teams will look at you. So I wasn't surprised that Tucker got cut, and I wouldn't be surprised if he never kicks in the NFL again. I don't think that's going to happen. I think at this point he should just go off into the sunset, still with the record of most accurate kicker in NFL history. Yes, it ended on a down year, but at the same point in time, I think with him having a down year and the allegations, I just don't know if any team is going to be willing to take that chance on him again. So that's that. That's the end of a chapter, end of an era. I mean, God, I've been watching Justin Tucker kick field goals for the Ravens since my freshman year of high school in 2012, and now here I am, almost 27 years old, still talking about him. But at this point, we probably won't have to do that anymore because he's not on the team. So, yeah. Thanks for all the memories, Justin. All those long field goals you made, especially the ones to win the games, the 260 plus yarders against the Lions. Those ones were huge because those won the games, obviously. And wishing the best of luck to Tyler Loop. I hope that you can come in and, not necessarily feel that pressure of trying to be Justin Tucker. Just be yourself because, you're really good as you are. So if you're just Tyler Loop and you continue to make these, field goals and do good and, maybe you kick for the Ravens for 10 years, then, hey, so be it. But again, I guess we'll have to just wait and see there. But that's my thoughts. Thank you guys for tuning in. And until then, I will catch you all in the next one.